Welcome to this video interview with Mr. Nejeeb Khan, who heads Head-Katerra in India. Mr. Khan, firstly, a question which everyone would like to know about the impact of COVID and the impact of the lockdown. We know that partially the lockdown has been lifted now. Have any of your factories been opened up? How has the lockdown impacted your activities, in terms of even your materials? That have been supplied to you? How has it impacted raw materials or anything else, any of your activities in any way?
Sure, Sarfina. Good afternoon. So yes, as you said, we are able to restart our factories and sites slowly, not at the full capacity. So that's a good thing. That's a good start for us. It's been closed down completely last 45 days for sure. So now we have our factory started with I will say 40% capacity. When it comes to the raw materials, we are pretty good. That means we have most of their supply chains are local. So we are not getting any problems there because government is also relaxed all the movement of cargoes and materials. So that way, that is not affected much. Of course, lockdown affected us on the construction front. At the same time, we do also a lot of design part of it. So last 45 days, when we were closed down, we are able to do a lot of that design work, because as you know, Head-Katerra is a full stack company. When I say full stack, meaning it's a design to build company. So we need to have a lot of drawings before we go for our manufacturing the building elements. We need a very detailed drawings. So this last 45 days, we have, as a matter of fact, in India itself, we have almost 500 engineers and architects. So they were all working and able to get a headway into our design part, all the shop drawings and fabrication drawings. We are able to produce a lot. So slowly we are getting back to the now the manufacturing mode. We hope things will open up more and more, and we are able to get our construction to full swing.
Right. A lot of companies I'm speaking to are mentioning that they're using this time to kind of focus on their R&D, speaking to their clients, trying to get in touch with their clients and customers and understand what is the requirement, and working on their research and development in this time, in the period of the lockdown. So has it been the similar focus for you all?
So Sarfina, I'm glad you asked that question, because construction is one industry is very behind in R&D and technology, as you know. Globally, every companies, every other field invest a lot on technology and R&D. Even though construction industry probably like a 10 to 12 trillion dollar industry globally, and India, if you look at the size of construction industry, probably in every year it is probably like a 250 billion kind of a size. So there is definitely there is a huge shortage and shortage on the R&D approach in our industry. But Head-Katerra is very different. I mean, if you ask me, last few years we spent more than $80 million just on R&D and developing different thing. So last 45 days, it was an amazing opportunity for us. I'll tell you one example. One of the product, I will say product very specifically here, we have developed is a isolation hospital. So this hospital we can construct in 15 days. And the beauty of this hospital is it's a isolation hospital with a 500 bed. So every elements we have manufactured. I mean, every element that will go within this hospital, we have done all the design, all the joint connection detail, how you put together, how you take it to the site, everything. So today we have a product. So today let's say Mumbai wants to put together a 500-bed isolation hospital, we can able to produce that components into 2 to 3 days and install them into 3-4 days. Hospital on track probably within like 2 weeks. So this is one example. I mean, similar way we are developed already a product for slum rehabilitation. So this is a 30 square meter product. Again, it's a 30 square meter apartment housing, which can be, we can put it, the way we constructing this building will be used just like a Lego block. So instead of columns and beams and slabs, we're going to construct this SRA building using each unit of 30 square meter and as a Lego block. So that's another product we have developed. We have also developed same thing for student hostels. So we did a lot of effort. I mean, it's a part of the continuing effort, I rather say. But last 45 days, it was we have a lot of our designers and a lot of our think tank probably come together between US, between India, and work together to produce this a lot of new things, which we are excited to launch as soon as possible.
What about your labor during this lockdown? Do you all have a lot of migrant labor, local labor? How did you all manage the situation during the lockdown? Even now when the lockdown has been partially lifted, do you all have laborers to start construction immediately? Or are you all kind of on hold because of the shortage of labor?
So you're absolutely correct. There is a migrant labor issues in our country, and we all see a lot of this reverse migration is happening, and they are going back to their villages, and it's difficult for them to come back. But the advantage for us as Head-Katerra, we do a lot of this automation in construction. So if a traditional construction take like 1,000 people for the structure, we take only probably like 200 people. So there is a significant reduction the labors at the site what we use, because usually our construction sites are more of an installation site. So we have like all this crane is doing most of this work. But similar same situation we have in the factory. Our factories are also very automated factories. So it is not very very labor intensive. So that way we use less number of labor considered to any traditional construction or any factories. But still we have labors we depend. So there is a little bit of reduction that front. But one other thing as a company, what we do, in fact, we don't even call our laborers as laborers. We call it as a staff, because for us we do a lot of upskilling, because this is more of a skilled labor or skilled work. So we usually keep them on our own payroll, not a traditional approach of a contract workers. So I will say majority of our workers within the site and within our factories are our own staff. So we have, given them accommodation. They are on our payroll. We are upskilling them. So that is with us. But we do depend some amount of contract workers that we are figuring out how do we get it. And that is a challenge, especially projects in Mumbai, projects in Lucknow, where we have, it's a big projects at the site level, not much on the factory level.
Right. Speaking about sectors within the building industry, you mentioned one about hospital construction. Going forward, what are the sectors within the building industry that you would ideally like to focus on?
So, see, at this moment, a lot of our work is happening on the commercial business sector. When I say commercial, it is office buildings and shopping malls. Now, of course, this COVID-19 given a huge shock to these two industries. I strongly believe this is a short-term, shock. even though a lot of industry leaders are talking about working from home going to be a reality. I do believe office building has to come, and more shopping malls has to come. But for the time being, definitely there is a discussion on slowing down this industry. So we also looking at other industries like pharmaceuticals buildings. We are looking at education building, hospital. I already discussed with you. We also looking at, as I told you, a lot of this SRA project, slum rehabilitation project. You can see, in our country, if you really look at it, biggest situation right now is in Mumbai, where the high density living, really a lot of slums are contributing to these infections, and moving away from slum and giving them a good sanitation, good living conditions is going to be a big focus for the government just after fighting with this COVID. So that is something, as I told you, the K10 product which we have developed is mostly for slum rehabilitation. So we are focusing on that. We definitely focusing a lot of data center, because so anything we really need to construct fast. That building types are very important for us, because we do have capacity, or we do have the capability to install buildings extremely fast. And a lot of people think the way we constructing is like a PEB building. It is much more, it is more of a precast or concrete buildings. And it's, when I say concrete building, is these buildings are built for 100 years. So that's our focus, Sarafina.
Right. Finally, a question that everyone is seeking answers to. How long do you think it will take the construction, infrastructure, and building sectors to gain momentum again? Considering the adverse impact of the COVID-19, how long do you see would it take the sectors to bounce back?
So, see, before getting to that question, I just want to give you one, insight. So if you look at construction industry all over the world, most of the countries, it is considered as an essential industry. And in that case, what happening is, there is a lot of places where, even though there is a lockdown, construction industry was keep going, since it is an essential industry. So I really think government should relook at that policy in India too, because most of the sites, you have their own laborers at the site, and keeping them not working is not the right decision. So that is first point I really want to bring it to you. So in the future, if anything this kind of a sort happen, we won't be having this situation of entire migrant laborers going and all that stuff. Construction industry, since it is using a lot of these workers, and they keep working, and we will use more and more social distancing and more safety measures in construction site. Answering to your question of when this is this going to be a long term or going to be a short term, to me the answer is it is going to be a short term. The reasons are, you can already see government is already starting up with a lot of incentive to push the economy to move forward. We also got a unique opportunity of a lot of industries moving from China to India. So definitely this is an opportunity where our economy bounce back very fast. So to me, it's much more of a kind of a tragedy or stuff we faced. We are all ready to move forward and to just embrace for a much faster growth coming years.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Khan. Wonderful talking to you. Stay safe.
Thank you, Sarfina. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you very much.